All right, hey people, today is March 26, 2021. It's about 11 p.m. at night here in Indianapolis or Indiana, Brownsburg, wherever I am, somewhere around there. And I am Chris Lucas, aka Liquid Smooth. I have a website known as fishingfortruth.com. And today I'm just kind of doing a random show. I've been kicked off of YouTube so much, and it's really wasting a lot of my time. So my shows are getting less prepared because I'm running around trying to figure out all these other software alternatives, platform alternatives, and I'm trying to work with these people to have a better product that everybody can go to. And it's real frustrating that they're trying to make people jump through hoops on a new product. And so I'm trying to talk to someone that's trying to start up a new live streaming platform into doing this, what they're doing, a better way. And I did not, aggravate them too much when I spoke to them. But basically, I'm trying my best just to I guess just leave YouTube. Like I don't know how much longer I can really stay on this whole platform because I don't know if I even made a video about it. I think I tried to make a video about it and it got erased on one of my channels, and it was basically where I made a video that was anti-fascism, right? So what it was it's this video talking about all this corporate fascism going on, where it looks like they're creating corporate monopolies, right? That's part of corporate fascism. And so what do companies like Amazon try to do? They're trying to create multi monopolies, basically. And here's Amazon getting all this government money, working so like hand in hand with the government. Same thing that YouTube and Google does. Well, Google runs YouTube because Google owns YouTube, and Google gets plenty of money from the CIA and has contracts with the CIA, and it's almost like they're part of the government now. And but anyway, my video was basically talking about how like groups like Antifa promote it, like they actually help anti-fascism. So they're supposed to be against it, but yet they actually help it spurt along. Because who are they supporting? Do you ever see them like protesting Amazon? Because if they were really anti-fascist, they'd be protesting Amazon, Microsoft. They'd be protesting Google, and none of them really do that. By the way, I think I'm on my Fishing for Truth. I don't know, Seventh Day Berean Church of Truth channel. Trying to get everyone to go to I don't even know if anyone should go to the other channel I'm broadcasting on. I'm kind of broadcasting on one channel just because I know I got 3 subscribers that aren't subscribed to my other channels. But hey, no, you. How's it going? It's odd you're not even showing up. It says I have no viewers. So that's really interesting. But yeah, hey, I'm just kind of doing like a random show. If anyone's got anything they want to talk about, feel free to, throw something out there. I appreciate you subscribing to both. Because I think the other ones like my Fishing for Truth, the most banned, 9. I got to actually start channel 10 because that video is almost at its strike limit. And I think I did one live stream on it, and that's it, and it's at its strike limit now. So because I try to upload a couple other videos just to show people who might be new some other content, and that got struck. One of the strikes was a video called "Now That the Who Agrees with Me, Will YouTube reinstate my channel?" and YouTube banned that video. And in that video, all I did was show how they banned my video for showing two doctors promoting ivermectin. And then I showed how I got a strike for it. And then I showed an article showing that the WHO now thinks ivermectin's a good treatment. And even in that video I did that got banned, I said my opinion, because at that time I was starting to get so worried about being banned. I was like, well, maybe if I put my opinion in the title of the video, YouTube won't ban it. So I said, my opinion, ivermectin looks like a great treatment. Oh, it's medical misinformation. My opinion, like, my opinion doesn't change. Like, you know, even when you kick me off of YouTube, you know, it's like, okay, so am I walking around medical misinformation because I think ivermectin's a good treatment? That's still my opinion. That's still a fact. My opinion is, that's still a fact. That's my opinion. It might not be, but like I said in the video, it's my opinion. That cannot be medical misinformation if it's just my opinion. I didn't say this is my fact, or I didn't say this is absolute fact. I said just my opinion. And but then it's like, you know, I show the WHO, they agree with me, and like, how does that get banned for? I mean, what does that get banned for? Medical misinformation? It's like, well, I mean, going by that, by YouTube calling it medical misinformation, they're now disagreeing with the WHO. Like, that just, like, what? You need to ban yourself, right? YouTube, you need to ban yourself from YouTube because you're disagreeing with the WHO, because the WHO is now saying that ivermectin's a good cure, but you're calling it medical misinformation, which would make you a person of medical misinformation because you're disagreeing with the WHO by your own guidelines. And if I made a video even stating that, I would get suspended again. You know, it's like, for what? They would suspend me for medical misinformation. Like, whenever YouTube suspends me anymore, it's always just medical misinformation. It doesn't matter what I talk about. It's medical misinformation. I could talk anything I disagree with them about. They just hit me with medical misinformation. And you know, not every single video I do revolves around COVID. And I don't even know why it's getting hit with it, because I take it out of my tags, it gets hit. It's like, I mean, really, your algorithm's picking it up in the video when I speak? I mean, maybe it is. I know people are all paranoid about that, but it's like I said COVID other times. You know, I mean, other people say COVID. You would think their channels would, you know, get deleted. So it's not for just saying the word COVID. So I don't know how it works. I think they actually just kind of like pick certain people out. And I know one thing, if you looking back at me, it's like, see, I think that's what it is, really. It's like that whole, I gotta kind of get that whole Romanism in there. Yeah, that big old word. I think that's the word they don't like, you know, because I found this really great audiobook. And I found it on this one guy, Sean, here. I'll go ahead and bring this up. You know, one thing, I want to show something, though. People think YouTube is pro-Jew and, oh, Jews control everything. You know, if you look at this one screen, here, I'll pull this up real quick. It's actually a video, a little video clip I want to show later, but see, look, I'll click on this video right here. This one, it says the truth about the Palestinian conflict. Right now, this one, you know, this isn't bashing Jews. It's quite the opposite. It's kind of showing that, you know, got little Muslim kids being trained, you know, to go kill Jews and all this other stuff, you know, death to the Jews. All the Jews are devils. Like, you can see that, you know, like, this doesn't paint the Palestinians in a very good thing. But look, when I click the video, oh, come on. Look what it says here. The following content has been identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audiences. Like, it doesn't say that about any other thing, you know. You could have videos about white hate, you know, like, man, I hate whitey. You could have videos about, you know, just depending on who you are and who you're talking about, you could get away with saying a lot of things. You know, I've seen anti-Semitic videos. You still don't see this on those anti-Semitic videos. But here's one, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's like painting Israel in a better light. It's kind of showing that, look, man, like, we're trying to make deals with them, and look what they keep on doing. And I really think that's like really interesting that. I kind of want to show this later, actually. I'll go ahead and click on that. Because, you see, I'm going to click on proceed, but I just want to show a couple of clips in this. Just like some of the stuff in it. It's not paint. It's sure not painting these people in a very good light.
You have, for example, the chairman of the Palestinian Public Library, who says that the Hebrews of the Bible were Arabs, and the Hebrews of the Bible were Muslims. And therefore, what he's done is he erases Jewish connection to the land, and he turns the whole history of the Bible into Arab and therefore Palestinian history. It's, of course, ridiculous from any academic or any historical.
Say, oh my gosh, they're inciting against the Jews today.
تعالوا بنا لنقدم السلام لشعبنا الصامت في غزة الذين يقفون دفاعا عن الوطن وعروبة القدس وعن فلسطين من النهر إلى البحر.
Yeah, I want to show this part real quick.
هذه أرضنا والكلاب يجب عليهم أن يرحلوا منها.
There is no such thing as an independent media in the Palestinian Authority. There have been efforts to establish independent media outlets, and they have not been allowed to blossom.
You have music videos. Music videos running on Palestinian television this year which sing about the destruction of Israel. You have music videos running on Palestinian television this year which are pure hate videos, talk about the enemy Israel. In fact, one of them is named My Enemy.
He says, I am Palestinian and my home, and this is my home. The evil souls, 1,000 evil ones are in my home. I am Palestinian and my home is my home. The evil souls, 1,000 evil ones are in my home.
The whole thing is talking about Israel as a snake coiled around the land. And this one probably was on.
The hate-filled media and the Arab world is most disturbing when seeing the
they show like how, because, you know, if you listen to like a lot of these anti-Semitics, like, The Last American Vagabond, you listen to like The Last American Vagabond, and he makes them sound like, oh, they're a bunch of peaceful people, Israel's crazy. And, you know, I'm not like the biggest pro-Israel person, right? I mean, like, I kind of want to like get sidetracked. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, they're such good, innocent people. You know, I understand what Israel is too, you know, but I mean, but also at the same time, you know, it's not like like Israel, the Jews had nowhere to go but back to Israel, because all of Europe was so anti-Semitic, and that's what people need to realize. And I don't know, man. But I mean, but biggest point I'm trying to make is YouTube is not pro-Jewish. That's for sure. Jews don't run anything. Like, they really don't. No, you says they should change their brand name to censorship too if they're talking about the pandemic. If you're talking about the pandemic or something that relates to it. and you're not carrying the narrative, they will scrub it by default. Yeah, I mean, that is the thing. You know, like Larry Gators, you know, he says he's Q. I play the video where he says he's Q, and I go, Larry Gators says he's Q. You know, that's all I said on my video, and YouTube erases my video. Well, you say that I'm causing hatred and stirring up violence. What about Larry Gators, who said it? And then I made another video saying, well, you know, YouTube removed my video calling Larry Gators Q, but look, Larry Gators' video is still up here. He's still running. He's still making money. He's still monetized. So he can call himself Q because why? Because he's pushing that narrative. He's helping keeping that narrative going. So, I mean, that's exactly it. And no, you says, yeah, but they're following a script. It doesn't matter what the who or YouTube says or do. It's a scripted plan. They are following orders in the end. You're against the lockdowns, and that's a no-no, and that's right. That's why they get mad. And yes, of course, you know who the Antichrist is, and you're not afraid to tell it. And I think that's the biggest problem is they, you know, I mean, this world is really controlled by Satan, and the Vatican is, I mean, all you got to do is like read the book Project Gladio by Paul L. Williams. And I believe Paul L. Williams is still, which surprises me, he's still a Roman Catholic after writing that book. But basically, in that book, it shows you that the Vatican is running the CIA, like through and through. Like like even all these like communist groups and far left groups, you know, that you're like, oh, you know, we gotta form an alliance with the Vatican and with Catholics so we can fight these communists and things. Well, I mean, you could clearly see in this book that the CIA looks like they're funding some of this or causing it to happen. And so it's like, you know, they cause it to happen. And, you know, like in Argentina, to me, some of that Argentina looks like they try to blame the Jews, like, oh, you know, we got this communism thing going on. And what it was these Catholic bishops were trying to like tell the Vatican, hey, you need to help out the poor more. And the Catholics and the Protestants, you know, what few Protestants there were all getting angry. But what did they start doing? They started painting the ones that were getting angry as being leftist communist. And then they would go in there and with the help of the CIA, oh, yeah, we're helping and killing commies. And it's all good. Just like, you know, when they were the mobs, the CIA helps the mafia run drugs. Okay. And so, but what's the excuse for working with the mafia? Oh, well, you know, this is all, you know, we're fighting communists. You know, these mobsters hate communists. They try to give that one mobster, I can't think of his name, but they try to give him like some kind of award. So you say, that's what you get if you kill whole families in their sleep, men, women, and children. That's what the IDF does all the time. There are a lot of Christian Palestinians. You know, I really don't know much about Palestine. It's just like, I just keep thinking, I just keep seeing things like this. And, but I do know that the Vatican funds a lot of these Muslim groups. Like they fund the Gulen. Like this Gulen guy, he doesn't have much of an education. And it's like one of the biggest movements in the whole world, right? Like, again, this guy lives here. I think he lives in Philadelphia now. And it's like this whole, like, the Golem movement, some Fethullah, I think it's Fethullah Gulen is like controlling this whole movement. And it's basically like, you know, the CIA's helping put mosque up everywhere and everything with, you know, obviously our taxpayer money and helping to fund this and run this whole thing. And I can't really get real deep into the details because I'll just really mess some stuff up. I've kind of been trying to go through different avenues. what's up on my screen is the different avenues I've been trying to go to. But oh, hey, I do want to play this video here. Hold on, let me need to share it a different way so it doesn't. I want to make sure I don't echo it. But basically in this video, it's NYC outdoor dining policy explained.
Outdoor dining is incredible. See, this is outdoor dining that it's indoors, but
oh great, YouTube
with
mess with me like this.
A door, but that's open, so the door is open. So at the very least, this outdoor dining hut is approximately a similar level of safety to a restaurant that has its door open.
You know,
I've given up on a lot of trying to understand New York. I've lived here for 32 years. And if I try to understand it, it'll either make me angry or make me sad or depressed or... So I try to avoid on trying to understand it.
But basically,
I just exist within it, you know? I go with the flow.
But basically, you could see back there, man, they had like, okay, you got to dine outdoors, and then they build something that basically looks like you're eating indoors. Because obviously, no one wants to eat outdoors when it's freezing. Okay, you said you read that book, Operation Gladio. Yeah, man, that's I got it on audio, and I'm like, I've listened to it twice already. No use says the sovereign knights, sovereign, the SMOM. Gosh, I can't remember what those initials are. I know it's like Knights of Malta something, but anyway, and the Jesuits control the CIA, and they started the CIA. Wild Bill founded the CIA, and he was a Knight of Malta. Yeah. The mob helped the Vatican in killing JFK. Yeah, Eric 777. I don't know if you're familiar with his channel, but man, this one video about, I know it's got Haggerty in the title. I think it's like Judge Haggerty or something. But like at about the 25-minute mark, he's got a letter from some woman that was like basically saying that it was the Jesuits that did it. Yeah, Sovereign Military Order of Malta. Okay, yeah, I kind of forget that. Yeah, and the Vatican did create Islam. I showed that in a video a while back. There's some book where, man, I think it was made in either the early 1900s or late 1800s, where this author was explaining that Mohammed, I guess, was a Catholic cardinal, if I'm understanding correctly. And so this, and then he was mad that he could never be Pope. So he went and created Islam. At least that's what he said in his book. Wesley Curry II says, spiritual ashes on your hands and mouths, written in scripture, shadows. The shadow of death, Psalm 23. Jewish words, bad, boom, boom, mark of the 10, the black, death, Jobel, war, hell. Yeah, I'm not quite understanding what you mean. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what you mean by the spiritual ashes on your hands and mouths written in scripture. Like, I don't know. I'm not familiar with it enough to know, like, understand what you're quoting. I guess I could look up Psalms 23 real quick, though. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He make me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff comfort me. I don't know if I should read all of Psalms. Surely goodness, thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Yeah, I'm not sure what particular part of that. Wesley Curry says, I see green pastures in Psalm 23 and the vision Yeshua Messiah gave to you and me. Everybody saw this vision January 4th, 2003 to today. So like, is it like verse 8? Because it says, "O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is thy name," and yeah, I'm really sorry, Wesley. I'm not like quite catching what you mean. Jesus said it is time, January 4th, 2003. Then Satan emulated Jesus's voice, saying "sad and delicious." Yeah, I'm not quite understanding, man. I'm really sorry. But you know what? I want to play this little scene here. I wonder why it didn't pop up. Here we go. Little scene on an airplane.
And we've seen this multiple times. A small child was couldn't wear a mask, and so the flight attendants were saying, you know, you and family need to leave unless this child can put it on. The entire plane revolts, almost the entire plane. About 80% of the plane starts to get up and starts threatening the flight attendants, and they start talking about how this is what happened to us back in World War II. We need to rise up. Just have a listen. But it's amazing to see the entire collective plane get up, and they leave the plane. So they actually just refuse to fly, and they all leave the plane.
Nazi Germany! Take your belongings and get out! Get out! Germany! Take your belongings and get out!
It's a little bit blurry, but it gets clearer. Let's see when this guy starts talking to another family. Here we go. This part.
Don't stand up for other people. Stand up. I'm going to stand up for you. I'm going to say to Francini, I'm not going to take your character. Stand up. Stand up for other people.
We were gassed.
There were only Jewish people sitting in the back two rows. Stand up.
Again, you can hear them saying, this is what happened to us in Germany. You need to stand up. You need to rise up. Now, from a moralistic standpoint, I mean, this is good. I mean, everyone hates to see what these airlines are doing to people. In a way, this is very good because people are standing up for one another.
So anyway, I just want to see that clip in case anyone's not familiar with on-point preparedness. I mean, like, because I didn't know that there was anything about, people being thrown off of a flight and then like, I heard the ones where someone got thrown off a flight, like where their kid couldn't wear a mask. And I mean, their kid was like, I don't know, like 5 years old or something. It was something ridiculous. Like, you're trying to make a kid wear a mask. It's like, I mean, the mask wearing's retarded anyway, but the fact that you're thrown off an airplane and then it's like, and then on top of it, the crowd started clapping and it was kind of sickening, like the whole crowd on the airplane would clap, and, basically for someone that's not breaking a rule in almost anywhere, because almost all places allow kids to not have to wear masks. And then you got a stupid crowd like clapping at it. And so yeah, Wesley, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to straighten out, because some of these other platforms, like, I'm having a hard time using StreamYard with them, and I'm not sure like what the issue is. And it's like, if they're wanting all these people to come over, it's like, I think they're trying to make me like big time streamers jump through extra hoops is what it feels like. And I'm like, well, that's not a good way to, like, promote your brand. And some of these, they need to focus more on, like, okay, why are so many people leaving YouTube? Because of free speech. Well, why don't you do things to appeal to that crowd and bring that crowd over? And that's something I'm trying to, I don't know, to see if they'll embrace it all, because I don't see how they can grow their brand. And I don't know if they're going to last for long if they don't try to reach out and grow their brand like that. So, I kind of don't want to say what I'm working on right now. It's like I just kind of want to keep it on the down low until I can even figure out if it's a viable option. But I know right now it feels like a very frustrating option, because it feels like everything's there to make it work and like to make their company bigger than YouTube. Every single thing is there. It's just I just don't understand why someone wouldn't create their platform to run StreamYard. It just really frustrates me. But and there was a couple other things I did want to play, but I don't know. I mean, I just kind of want to do like a little live chat, man, real quick. Let people have, like, kind of like know what I'm doing. And I'm going to be better prepared for a show like next week. It's just, I've been doing so much, trying to find some alternative way to like trying to do little things to raise money, trying to do just other technical aspects of working around this whole YouTube censorship. So, yeah, to be honest, I don't know much about the tech side either. That's why it's taking me all this extra time. And like, the tech side kind of frustrates me, because I just want to, because there's a lot of other things I got to do, man, I'm worried about. And I don't need to be worrying about the tech side. And some of the tech side, it feels like it's so obvious to me. I don't know why it's not corrected. So, yeah, I got two screens. Basically, it's like one that I want to share, and so I got a monitor over to my right, and then I got a laptop over to my left, and well. All right, thank you, Wesley. I appreciate that. I hope my voice sounds okay. But yeah, basically, I keep a separate screen, and what it is it's it's so I can still read the chat, still have an idea of what's going on my screen, because every once in a while when you're using these softwares, when you go to share something, you think you shared it, but if you have one screen, sometimes what you're trying to share, that's in front of you instead of, and then it's like, oh, okay, let me explain this better. On my laptop, I got the screen that everyone's looking at. Then I can also see your chat. And then on the side here, it's like I got the screen I want to share. And so as I'm sharing that, but if I had one, basically just a laptop, if that's all I was using, the screen I want to share would be in front of me. I'm thinking I'm sharing that. I think I'm playing it. And then I'll go back, look at the chat, and I'll be like, oh, that screen's not even up there. So that's kind of why anyone who's like new to this or ever wants to do this in the future, you want to buy like a cheap monitor at least to have by your side. And that way you can see what you're actually broadcasting and what you're about ready to broadcast or what you're trying to broadcast. And you can keep an eye on what everybody else is seeing and looking at, and then keep an eye on what you're trying to play, trying to search for. So, oh yeah. Well, hey, here's a thought. I kind of want to ask this. Man, I wish I would have asked this while I had a few more people in the room. But okay, here in Indiana, we finally got rid of our mask mandate, but the governor did it. But he left it up to the city councils whether they want to keep mandating it or not. And I was just wondering, is everyone else's state like that? Because see, here I've been arguing with it for like over 1 year. This is why I promoted certain city council members really hard to get them elected, and I did get them elected. But unfortunately, I moved from the city of Greenwood, which I'm pretty sure is not going to have mask mandates with those people running the city council. But here in Brownsburg, I don't know. I didn't help these people get on the ticket. So, and they're Republicans, but that doesn't mean anything because it's, it's like Republican doesn't exactly mean freedom here. So, but I know if it's left up to them, like it feels like it's real iffy. They already said like in Indianapolis, everyone's got to keep wearing masks. Their city council decided it. But this whole thing, this is what every state should have done, and everyone should have been pressuring their city councils. I work like over almost 65 hours a week. Sometimes I was working almost 70 hours a week. I didn't have time. I didn't even have the hours to go to my city council member and go beat down their door and protest in front of their house. And I'm just kind of wondering, why wasn't everybody else, at least, people who was like laid off or had time to go? It's like, why weren't you like, if you hate these mandates, you needed to be out in front of your city council? And I don't know why that wasn't pushed by more people, but all I know is like if anyone wants to get rid of those mask mandates, you can make your city council get rid of them because they're mandates. And a mandate's not a law. Your city council only has to enforce laws that your governor has. Other than that, your city council, when it's a mandate and the governor gives you a mandate, your city council can override any mandate the governor gives, because mandates are not laws. So, Wesley, I really don't want to say. I kind of want to like just kind of keep that private. I got a job that I guess is a very essential job. If I didn't go to it, the whole entire city would shut down. Well, maybe if I missed a day, but like let's say 20 people at my work missed a day, you might see a city shut down. You might actually see and if let's say 20 people missed work for like 3 or 4 days, You might see a couple of cities shut down. You might see a state shut down. And the thing about our job is, like, I felt like, okay, we're one of the most critical jobs, yet they really did nothing. You know, if there was like a real pandemic, you would think that local officials would go and evaluate things and be like, okay, there's a deadly pandemic. We know if 20 of these guys missed work, this city would go into chaos and riots. Maybe we should have things like, oh, I don't know, not have these guys use portalets at these certain facilities, or maybe make them cleaner, or do something, you know, like there's facilities I got to go to, man, where all they give you is a portalet to use. Well, if 20 of us go in, one of us got COVID, 20 of us go in there, 20 of us get COVID, your city shuts down if it's really that deadly, you know? And that's the whole crazy thing about my job, man, is it's like they gave us like no protection. It's kind of like, well, you know, there's a deadly virus going around, but wear a safety mask, you know. But for a while we weren't even wearing safety masks, and you would at least think that they would be like, hey, you know, maybe we should like go around to these facilities and make sure these guys got, you know, at least sanitized facilities, you know. And it's like, no, it's like just that's why I couldn't even believe in the pandemic, because it's like, wow, man, it's like if there was a real deadly pandemic going on, boy, man, it's like you guys, we'd all be dead and riots, everything would be on fire. Because I mean, no one's gonna just sit there and starve. People will start breaking into things and justifying that they got to feed their kids, you know, and just smashing windows and doing whatever they can. And then it's like they wouldn't even go hungry. They start robbing their neighbors. And then after like the city's power gets shut down and all this other stuff starts happening, it's like, because man, if my job goes, man, a lot of things go. A lot of it, like, it doesn't go all at once, but man, you give it like 14 days. Like, wow, what if we would have strictly followed that quarantine? Like, I got a little cough. I better stay home for 14 days. And then Bill's got a little cough, and this other person's got a little cough, and we all stay home for 14 days. Or because we were all like around someone, like, I was coughing. Well, Chris was coughing. COVID's going around. We all better stay home. It's like, yeah, you know, come back 14 days later and everything's in flames. Whole city's burnt down. Bolt 420 says, if it were a thing, the rich and powerful would show us what they are doing, and when they do nothing with all their resources. Yeah, and, you know, another thing is, it's like, man, you know, these are like, there's people having big parties, man, and stuff like that. Like, I know, like, there's people showing their parties, and I know there's still like people having get-togethers, man, like big get-togethers of the same people, you know, saying, oh yeah, you know, mask up and stuff, and then it's like they're still partying, you know, all those NBA guys, man. It's like, yeah, we want to live in a bubble, but dude, you're not living in a bubble when you're not playing basketball. You're partying, man. Like, some of these guys got underground parties with all their friends and buddies coming over there, man. They're not doing this whole lockdown, I'm scared of COVID thing. I think that's why they wanted the whole Disneyland. They didn't want to have to wear a mask at all. Like, yeah, just have us go to Disneyland. Just tell us we're not sick, and because we're not wearing a mask. Because you would think, like, okay, masks don't hurt you, man, when you're playing basketball, since it doesn't hurt me to wear a mask, you know, for 8 hours a day at work, or so they say. You know, it doesn't hurt you to wear a mask 8 hours a day. You might have a job working on a dock where you're lifting heavy crates all day, you know, driving a forklift. You know, it's, you know, it doesn't hurt you to wear a mask for 10 hours a day, right? So obviously, you know, this guy playing basketball, you can run up and down the court with a mask on, right? None of these guys do it. You would think, hey, why don't you be extra safe? And, you know, it's not happening. So, Bolt 420 says, if I saw sick people, I would take precautions, but it's a cold or flu that is man-made. I say, yes, it does affect you. Yeah, those masks do. Yes. Oh, man, someone today, like, I made this post about, you know, because there's this doctor, you know, talking about, oh, masks are safe. So I made a post and I said, man, you're not like in a warehouse or flipping burgers and, you know, wearing that mask where you're sweating, you're lifting heavy objects around all day. You're not having to basically, you know, work out for 8 hours a day in a mask or 10 hours a day in a mask. It's real easy for you to, you know, to think that it's okay to wear a mask when you're not doing it that long. But try working out and stuff, you know, and then measuring the pH levels and carbon levels in your body. And then this one guy says, well, I just ran a 4K today and I got asthma, so you're just stupid. And I was like, and the whole thing about that is, okay, a 4K, I can run a 4K in about 15 minutes. So, okay, so you wore a mask for 15 minutes and you think that like somehow like that equates to a guy that's got to wear 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. And that's not, and I said, and you don't have like dental problems? Are you telling me you wear a mask that many hours every single day and you're working out that hard all those hours and you don't have any dental problems? There was like some video, I mean, I did not too long ago where it's like you had all these like kids on this like newscast and they were like, oh yeah, you know, we got, if I can even find it. Did have it in some of my tabs. I think I got rid of those tabs though. But hoping I could find it if it's still loaded up. But well, I can't find it. But yeah, I did this video where they're you know, the Colgate Crest. Well, I might still be able to find that here. I think I can still find it. Oh, I think it's like Colgate Philippines or something like that. Zinc toothpaste, because they were like talking about getting zinc toothpaste. And COVID and let me see about, oh, I bet if I do new. It's talking about like, I remember it was like a little commercial. Oh, is it this one? They were talking about the bad breath and I think they were talking about the mask and oh yeah, it was like, yeah, like it creates like a contained environment, and that contained environment leads to cavities. It looks like that commercial's gone. But look, you know, some people say, "Oh yeah, I'm wearing a mask doesn't hurt." Look, well, look what I found here. What to do when masks start to affect your oral health? I thought masks didn't hurt you. And then they say, you know, if you wear a mask, well, you're 3.5 times more likely to have severe COVID, 4.5 times more likely to be put on a ventilator. So think about this. So if you got oral issues, it increases your likelihood to have severe COVID. Mask affect your oral health. So shouldn't the thing be you shouldn't wear masks because it could create oral health problems that could lead to more severe COVID? Because 3 times more likely, 4.5 times more likely. That's 450% more likely. Oh, hey, Stephanie Bolt. Good to see you too. So I'm just kind of reading through the comments, making sure I didn't miss anything. Lack of oxygen, slow suffocation, brain damage, the list goes on. Yeah, man, especially when you're working in one of these. This is how we communicate, is through you, Chris. The 2-week thing. I'm just trying to do a video. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to do something quick. I gotta get out here in 10 minutes. I told my wife, like, I'd probably be down here for 2 hours, and I probably spent an hour and a half trying to use a different software. Well, not using a different software, but trying to work around some problems I'm having streaming to this other site. Because I'm trying to have an alternative setup for everybody to go to besides YouTube. And I'm just trying to see if the people who seem like they want to make it happen are willing to just, I guess, like, cooperate with a few things. So, Stephanie Bell says, this is already ridiculous. Nobody's fighting back. It's my birthday tomorrow. What's the stat on the dog? Oh, one thing is, my wife was like, she wanted a golden poodle or a golden doodle. A golden doodle. She's like, I didn't want like a Labradoodle. It was close though. That's why I was like, the thing is, when I'm watching the video, I could see it right when I did the search. It had the golden poodle. Like, if I just would have looked over to my right just a little bit more, I would have noticed it. But yeah, my kids are begging for a dog now. Everyone's really on me about a dog. I'm just like, can we? I just want to live in like a bigger house, like at least with like our bigger yard. And so you like those golden doodles? You know what? I'm sorry, people. I know you probably want me to talk about the Vatican and New World Order. Some people. I mean, if you still want me to, I will, man. I mean, I'm just gonna put this up on the screen real quick, though. Yeah, right there. That's what she wants. Looks. I mean, the only good thing about it is they don't really seem to live very long. I know it seems bad. I hate saying it. I know I'm probably like a horrible person, but I'm really scared that people are not going to be responsible and take care of it. I mean, my wife says she will, and she probably will, but I always have that fear that, do you really know what you're getting into? Like, are you going really, like in Indiana, it gets cold, it gets snowy, it gets below 50 degrees. Are you going to still take the dog for a walk? Are you, it's. Yeah. Oh man. Oh gosh, man. I'm gonna wind up having to do it. Yeah, I mean, I guess everyone else seems to roll the punches with it when it comes to the dogs and everything that's involved. It's just, I'm just like, it's, I like dogs. I like it when it's other people's dogs and I can just pet their dog, and you want me to watch your dog for a day. Oh man, that's awesome. Like, I wish we could just have like a dog sharing place or something. Like, do I have to keep the dog? Like, can we just like share the dog, like share the responsibility? Like, dog gets to stay here for, a while. Dog gets to stay here. And that way it's like, you're not feeling like you got to take care of the dog every day. It's not hanging over your head. And like, maybe like, I wish there was like just kind of like a dog place you could take the dog to, like a dog hangout, like, hey, we don't want our dogs being here, and just hang out. But I better not play too much of this video. I don't want to get a strike for medical misinformation. I just want to give people like a idea of what this dog's like. That's another thing. I thought about starting like maybe I could have like a dog and cat channel, and I'll just call it that, and like cat and chat, and if I wind up getting a dog, dog, cat, and chat, channel, and then I can just kind of like, oh, look at the dog, and boy, these masks sure are horrible. COVID sure is horrible. Here, kitty, wow, look at my cat. And then it's like, if I call it like a cat and dog channel, would it get stricken? And then maybe me make my dog like, oh, I don't like to wear a mask. Sure. Well, I mean, if I got a dog, I'd have a dog channel. I'd make it a dog and cat channel, I mean, I'm just trying to find a way to get around those algorithms. Or not algorithms, just. Those actually don't look as great as the ones I saw at the park, though. The ones I saw at the park were, like, they were real big. Just like, I wish we could just. So that's the difference. Man, I think Labradoodles are pretty nice looking dogs. I kind of like the difference. It's kind of like a sheepdog, almost. What is it? Like, I don't know. I kind of like the fur on this one, and it's got a little sad look on its face. Kind of looks like a sad old dog. Oh my gosh, man. I just can't believe, like, English Mastiff, if you're looking for looks. I'm just curious. I guess this probably isn't bothering you people too much, looking at dogs. Like I said, anyone just tuning in the channel, you want me to go back and start talking about the New World Order, Fauci, talking about, hey, I do want to see what an English Mastiff looks like, though. But if you want me to talk about Fauci and the New World Order, I'd jump right back into that subject. If someone wants to come on for a few minutes, they can. Oh, that is kind of a cool dog. If it would look like that. That dog in that picture looks awesome. That's an English Mastiff? Like, I want one like that that's real big and fat. I kind of think I still kind of like the Labradoodle better. But I'm not picking the dog because I'm not taking care of it. I've done told my wife, you better never get sick because this guy's not taking care of it. That'd be cool though if that thing got that big. Oh, I want to see this. Can it really, like... If that thing got that big, that would be pretty cool. As long as I don't have to take care of it. I just don't want to be the one taking care of it. But that thing would be awesome. Oh my gosh. No, I'm not. I know. I'm going to try. They're trying to talk me into it. I'm not going to pick it up. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to pick it out because I'm not taking care of it. I already know that dog will probably wind up liking me best, and I'm not. But I'm not taking care of it. Drop the link, Chris. Oh, sure. Yeah. I hope he's not going to explain some stuff about a dog, man, dude. I don't want the dog. Just don't want. Oops. I don't think I got the link in there right. Yeah, I did. Okay. Okay. Well, that's cool. If you don't want to get on the live, that's cool. No, I probably should be good. I should probably go soon. Anyone tuning in though, like if you wanted me to talk about all that New World Order stuff, you know, Vatican, banks, Project Gladio. I'd really recommend though doing a web search or YouTube search for Paul L. Williams Operation Gladio. If anyone really wants to know about what the deep state really is, that Operation Gladio is the deep state. And Paul L. Williams is a Roman Catholic, so it's not like this is coming from some Protestant trying to bash the Catholic Church. This guy, to my knowledge, he is still a Roman Catholic, or at least that's what he said on this interview I found on him about, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. And, you know, it said he's Roman Catholic. And I was kind of amazed because that Operation Gladio book, I mean, like, I honestly don't know how you could write a book like that and still be Catholic and not see what that church is really about and really doing. It really blew my mind away. Yeah, you know what? Here, I'll play a little bit of Paul L. Williams. Just Paul L. Williams. Oops. Now, he spoke at this Killing the Planet show. I mean, this wasn't too bad. It was like a conference. I think the guy who's hosting it, Rodney Howard Brown, might be a Pentecostal, but basically it's kind of talking about like a lot of New World Order stuff too. But this is pretty interesting too. I was surprised to see Paul Williams on RT. And so I think it's the show called Watching the Hawks. But in it, he talks about how he says we created ISIS. And basically, we being the CIA, America, but he basically talks about how, you know, the Vatican runs the CIA. And there's another interview, and then this interview, the Hagman report, and Hagman doesn't do videos on YouTube because I think he's got too many strikes now. But anyway, this is where Paul Williams says he's Catholic, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know you were still a Catholic. But what was the here? Let me type in Operation Gladio, and I just like one little piece of this book. Oh, I haven't seen this one yet. This might be really interesting. Paul Williams, Operation Gladio. But this is the book he wrote, and it's in audio form. And it's Operation Gladio, the unholy alliance between the Vatican, the CIA, and the Mafia. And I mean, it's just the whole thing is wow. Like I kept thinking like, oh, there'd only be like maybe one little section that I might find that I might really want to share, but it's really hard for me not to like to find just one piece of this and be like, oh, this is the only piece I want to share. This is like the most important piece. And
the founder of ON, who had been receiving regular paychecks from the U.S. Embassy in Rome.
Hold on, let me, this is gonna, I know what this is about ready to do. This is gonna keep glitching out on me. So let me run this through Firefox. Because if I don't do it, man, I'm just gonna have issues. Because for whatever reason, YouTube is so I'm gonna stop that and then do it this way. But right here on this, like, I think about this 348 mark.
The blood of yesterday and the blood of today. In another article, Pecorelli wrote that Mauro's kidnapping had been carried out by a lucid superpower and was inspired by the logic of Yalta. He described the crime as one of the biggest political operations carried out in recent decades in an industrialized country integrated into the Western system. In one of his last articles, published on January 16, 1979, Pecorelli had written, "We will talk about Steve R. Pieczenik, who participated for 3 weeks in the Interior Ministry's expert meetings, then returned to America before Mauro was killed, and reported to Congress that the measures taken by Cossiga on the Mauro affair were the best possible in the circumstances. Several months after making these claims, Pecorelli was gunned down near his office on Via Orazio in Rome. The barrel of a gun had been shoved down his throat and the trigger pulled twice. As a classic gesture of the Mafia's practice of sasso in bocca, stone in the mouth, police officers discovered a stone within Pecorelli's mouth as an announcement that the journalist never again would divulge a secret. The Hyperion Language School. The fact that the Red Brigades had been infiltrated by...
You know, one thing, I wanted to stop it right there. On, if you notice, he said Steve R. Pieczenik. That's the same guy that was on the Alex Jones show that had like all those conspiracy theories about Trump still president and all this other stuff, and was pushing that all that kind of junk. It's like, you know, like it just kind of shows you that Steve Pieczenik and like it's still like wrapped up in all this, and the fact that, you know, like Alex Jones isn't called out, and people say Alex Jones is part of Operation Mockingbird and things like that. You could start to see how all these things kind of tie together. It's like, yeah, you know, this guy was still involved in things like that then, and he's still involved in things like that now. Nothing's changed. It's all still kind of like under control.
The CIA and the Italian secret services remains no longer contested. The purpose of the strategy of tension was to encourage violence from the radical left in order to convince the Italian people of the need to repress the rise of communism. The brigades were a perfect foil. With unflinching radicalism, they considered the Italian Communist Party, PCI, too moderate, and Moro's opening too compromising. Thanks to the infiltration, which occurred in 1973, the brigades began to work closely with the Hyperion Language School in Paris, with most brigadiers unaware that it had been founded by the CIA. Hyperion opened an office in Italy shortly before the kidnapping and closed it a few months later. An Italian police report singles out Hyperion as the most important CIA office in Europe. Founded by Corrado Simeoni, a CIA operative who worked with Radio Free Europe, Duccio Berio, an informant to the P2-controlled Italian military intelligence, and Mario Moretti, the CIA operative who was later convicted of killing Aldo Moro. The school acted as an intermediary for meetings between Italian and foreign terrorist groups, including the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, the Red Army faction of Germany, and Euskadi ta Askatasuna, the Basque Revolutionary Army. The Red Brigade Mystery. In 1974, 4 years before the kidnapping, Red Brigade founders Renato Curcio and Alberto Franceschini had been arrested in Rome. Franceschini immediately accused Mario Moretti of turning them in, stating that Moretti and Giovanni Cenzani, another leading Red Brigade member, were in fact CIA spies. From a military point of view, Franceschini told an Italian parliamentary commission, "Those of you who know the people who were supposed to have carried out the Moro operation will be perfectly aware that they were not capable of it." Franceschini's testimony is supported by several facts. 1. The gunmen who mowed down Moro's bodyguards were highly trained assassins with skills that far exceed those of known brigadiers. 2. The assassins were obliged to wear Alitalia uniforms in order to identify each other. 3. Moro had been held captive in an apartment complex owned by SISMI, Italy's military agency. And 4, the bullets that riddled Moro's body were treated with a special preserving paint that characterized the ammunition found in the Gladio arms dumps. In 1981, Moretti was arrested, apparently by accident, and eventually confessed to the kidnapping. He received 6 life sentences for the murder, but never cooperated with investigators. Cossiga, when he became president of Italy in 1985, pressed for a pardon. Moretti was paroled after 15 years and presently resides in Milan. His early pardon by the Italian court has never been explained. Vatican pieces of the puzzle. Father Felix Morlion, a Belgian priest, was affiliated with the Hyperion Language School and served to establish a branch of the school in Rome. During World War II, he had worked closely with Wild Bill Donovan and the Office of Strategic Services by creating Pro Deo, a Catholic intelligence agency. When the Nazis seized control of Western Europe, Donovan relocated Morlion and his agency from Lisbon to New York. In 1945, the priest relocated to Rome, where he became the private emissary of Pope Pius XII and 4 of the Pope's successors. Throughout the 1960s, he remained a pivotal U.S. intelligence agent, as witnessed by his key role in the Cuban Missile Crisis. At JFK's urging, the Dominican priest had attended a strategic meeting in Andover, Massachusetts, where he established a communication channel between Moscow and Washington, mediated by Pope John XXIII, through whom messages were passed that brought an end to the threat of a nuclear war. In 1966, Morlion established, with funding from the CIA, the Pro Deo University, which became Libera Università Internazionale degli Studi Sociali, the International University of Social Studies. As president of the new university, Morlion became a force in the formation of the right-wing policies of the Italian government. He also reportedly began recruiting of terrorists and assassins, including Moretti and Mehmet Ali Aoka, who attempted the hit on John Paul II. Questions about Morleone's involvement in the Moro matter first arose from the discovery of photos taken by Piccarelli of the prominent priest in the company of leading Italian military intelligence officials at the time of the kidnapping. Such questions became more pressing when the Rome office of the Hyperion School, which Morleone helped to establish, opened shortly before the Moro kidnapping, only to close the following autumn. Even more puzzling is the fact that the Prodeo founder received prominent mention in the secret files of Lizio Gelli, which were seized by the Italian police in 1982.
I'm going to kind of, because this is really the part exactly I want to find. Like, there's a part where it's like tying everything into the banks, and I thought it was right there, but I think I'm mistaken. But you did hear a little bit about how, like, you hear about Wild Bill Donovan and Bill Donovan. But I think he found, I think he intelligence officer and diplomat, best known for serving as the head of the Office of Strategic Services, the precursor to the Central Intelligence Agency. He is regarded as the founding father of the CIA, and a statue of him stands in the lobby of the CIA headquarters buildings in Langley, Virginia. So you heard in that video, though, about how, like, he had those close ties with the Catholic Intelligence Agency. And so weird because it's like, basically, what's the CIA called? It's got the nickname of Catholics in Action. And so you could hear a little bit in that video about, like, all of his ties, just right there with all those Vatican agents and things like that going on. So, it also, like, in other parts of this book, he's talking about how the CIA is not answerable to anyone. Like, no one, the CIA has no oversight at all, except if the president asks. And the president never really asked. I mean, I don't know when's the last time a president's like, hey, I need to be open about all this stuff. And then the CIA would have to be, but the president has never said that to my knowledge. And the one thing, so if the CIA's got no oversight and they got this huge budget, in this book he did talk about how they fund banks. So you basically got the CIA with all this power to start a bank, given all the funds to start banks, and all that manipulation that can go on there, running drugs in and out of the country. And then you got the Vatican controlling all that, basically, because they, the Catholics run the CIA, and basically do the whole Vatican's bidding. And that's, I don't know, there's just a lot of things that I got out of this book. It's really good. And I really recommend, like, watching anything Paul L. Williams, is talking about. And, that's who I found out about the Gulen movement from, was him, because he talked about how that Gulen movement is actually, like, trying to unite all the Muslims of the world together under one umbrella. And the thing about that is this Gulen, I can't think of his first name, but I think he said that he's only got like the education of a third grader. So it's like, how's this guy the head of this huge movement? And so, you kind of put two and two together. He's probably working with the CIA. And so you basically got the CIA, which is Catholic controlled, running this big Gulen movement to unite all the Muslims of the world together. And so it just kind of shows you how, like, I don't know, like, how the Vatican's hands pretty much run everything. I mean, when you control two of the biggest religions in the world, and then you control most of the finances and set the rules of it, like, really, what don't you control at that point? And you control the most powerful nation in the world, with you know, America's pretty much still got probably one of the strongest militaries, if not the strongest military in the world. I know some people think China, but you know, I had a friend in the army that told me he doesn't really. He tells me that they got stuff that, you know, most people just have no clue of. He tells me like America is still pretty much like the top dog militarily. And he says like China's not really with them competitively. But I gotta take his word for it. I don't know. You know, I don't know enough. But I know one thing: America's one of the top 3 at least, and you got the CIA controlling it. Yeah, I'm gonna be on tomorrow, man. I think I'm gonna get off here, Bull. That's really cool, man. Like you even say all that because I think I'm getting out of here. And it'd probably be better, you know, you could listen to something like that and really get like a lot better education than something I could give you. But anyway, I think I'll call it a night. You know, really good to see you both. Seeing everybody else, know you and everybody else who stopped by. Yeah. I'll wind up buckling down and probably getting a dog. But all the kids really want one, man. They are psyched up about it. My wife wants it. Just like I don't want to take care of it. But anyway, that's it for my show. Later, and try to do one tomorrow. I don't know. I do work, so I don't know if I'll get one out, but I'll see.